Claret and Blue season 6, I think.
Is it?
2019 we started. Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast big fat season preview. I'm your host, Dan Rolinson, joined by Mat Kendrick and John Townley. John, you and I have done a lot of stuff over the summer, so I know that you're pretty much well. You're back from the States now. Still jet lagged, still struggling with sleep, but by and large, in a good place.
In a good place.
You've been away, Matt. You've had a relaxing pre-season from a podcast point of view. You've not done any since the end of the season. Where have you been? What have you been up to? What's the news?
I've been around the world. I've been
around the world and back.
Yeah. All the way to New Zealand and back.
Nice.
Via Sydney, and a little photo opportunity with a sleeping koala.
His name's John, actually.
Bless him. I've been commenting about how hench he looks, so I'm scared of winding him up too much in case he kind of swings from me with those big arms. But yeah, so New Zealand, I did get to meet a Villa fan. It was pre-arranged. So
is that what you went for? It's a long way for that.
Yeah, it was when me and you went to Wembley and hardly anybody noticed me. I thought, listen,
I'm going to go all the way to New Zealand.
I'm going to have to work the world a little bit more here. But yeah, Neil Watson from the New Zealand Lions.
Shout out, Neil.
I'll give you the photo so you can show me
parading.
parading.
What time do they get up for Villa games, Matt? Or is it really late at night?
It's 11 hours different. So actually, they're 11 hours in front. So Saturday's 12:30 kickoff will actually benefit them because it means that they'll be watching it at 11:30 at night, rather than like 3 in the morning or whatever. But yeah, I think there's a decent bunch of them out there. So yeah, hopefully go and see them again soon.
Right, this is our big season preview. We are going to split this into two parts. The first is our kind of general feelings ahead of the season, and then the second part will be our specific Villa predictions. Do we feel ready for a new season is what I want to start with. I'll come to John first because you've been away. I'll get you back in the loop eventually. It comes around very quick every year, doesn't it, at the start of the new season? Pre-season's been and gone. That's done now. It doesn't feel like 2 minutes ago we were talking about Walsall being irrelevant. Now we've just beaten Villarreal in the final game. It's like, oh, that's good, isn't it, I guess?
Yeah.
But all attention is now on Newcastle. Are you ready, John? Are you ready for a new season behind the laptop?
Behind
the keyboard?
It was a very long June.
Yeah.
Because nothing was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Pre-season went like a flash. Obviously, went over to America as well, which is fantastic and very busy making content. So, from a personal point of view, it feels like the season started and I'm already in the groove.
Yeah.
But are Villa ready for the new season?
Got yourself sharp for the new season.
Yeah.
I love the idea of John getting his season ready, sharpening all his pencils and stuff like that. He's got his new pencil case on the side, making sure the screen of his laptop is just so.
But from a Villa point of view, I think that we're ready. They're ready as well. I do think we're in a good place. I think a lot's been said about our business or lack of business, but actually the continuity I think is going to be really important for us next season, and I expect us to be fit, ready, raring to go for Newcastle and Brentford and Palace. I just want to kind of get through those first three matches. Yeah. There's then going to be an international break in September, pretty much straight away. But then you can kind of take stock then, who you've got in the Europa League as well. It feels like the start of the season, just get through that and I think we'll be fine. And then you can really look forward to the rest of the campaign.
Who was your favourite interviewee, John McGinn or Yuri Tielemans?
Oh, I'm not answering that.
Oh, why not? I won't be watching
say that
this.
as if they're good. say that as if they're avid viewers. No, honestly, they were both brilliant. They were really open, really polite as well. I mean, it's something that after 2 hours of training, 37-degree heat in Nashville, they're happy enough to... in Yuri's experience, walk around with me for a little bit and talk to me. But Megan as well, sitting down for a good period of time and being very open about last season and the campaign ahead as well. But they're all very excited, I feel, the group. I watched training a few times and there's a really good kind of camaraderie between them. And again, the fact that they haven't lost, at least at this stage, and it was always their plan not to lose any key players, I think they're all going into it kind of like, last season was a real disappointment, but what we've got ahead of us now, we're all in it together still, and we've got an opportunity to kind of right some wrongs maybe, and win a trophy.
Now we'll get to that in a bit. Did you see the interviews that you did over in the States?
Yes.
You saw those. Okay, good.
I actually think that Villa's fitness professionals should bring in the Townley walk and talk as a warm down after training. Get them all to just
lap of the car park a few times.
I think they should do it
Get
like
things off the chest. Yeah,
like a walk around Witten though, and do it like that John has to do, and do it like midnight and stuff like that.
I reckon if you put John Townley's arms with John McGinn's legs, you've got a real fierce footballer there, haven't you?
John McGinn's legs, by the way.
Oh, massive, aren't they?
Tree trunks.
Mine are big, but because they're fat. He's so strong.
Little kind of He-Man toys that you used to swing at the waist, and like you could like they got like
no. My favourite. Well, say my favourite. It isn't because they were good interviews. One of the things I really liked from that Tielemans one was the intro, and he's like, "I hope you mean Nashville."
Yeah. No, it's probably the best.
Do you know he talk very often?
It's probably the best icebreaker could have. Honestly, travelling so much over there, I've completely lost where I was. And then,
I can understand why. Yeah.
I'm glad he corrected me though, because if
you could see him smirking, he had to get it in there. Yeah. I hope you mean Nashville. Okay, right. We're going to do the winners and losers of pre-season. Matt. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm sure you've not seen a single minute. I'm going to give you the floor, John, for the next couple of minutes to give us a bit of a roundup on pre-season and who's come out of it looking good and who's come out of it maybe having missed their opportunity or anything like that.
Okay. Start by saying the first 2 games were essentially pointless apart from the players ran around a lot.
Yeah,
There's really nothing to take from those. So
that's Warsaw and the Germany one.
Yeah, and Hansa Rostock essentially paid Villa to go out there. It's just it was a nice thing for them. Over in the States, though, I was really impressed by the tempo of the games. Overall, like just throughout pre-season, again, I remember when we played in Australia and under Steven Gerrard, came out of that thinking we've actually had some good results, but I'm really struggling to see what we're doing here, and the players don't look ready. That's completely the opposite for me now. I think we are ready to go. In terms of players that I was impressed by, start with the youngsters, all of them. I don't want to kind of... I will kind of focus on a few in a minute, but all of them, I think, stepped into it really well, and fantastic experience for the youngsters, but particularly George Hemmings stood out. I think a lot of Villa fans would agree with me. He's looked very comfortable, taking responsibility on the ball and out of possession as well, working really hard. For 18 years old to come into an environment like the Marseille friendly that we had. It wasn't a friendly. It was we were lucky to get out of.
Very rough that.
Yeah, lucky to get out of there without any injuries. Marseille aren't a very nice team in general.
Yeah,
but yeah, the atmosphere as well. So I was really impressed with George Hemmings in that game, particularly. Daniel Marlon, 3 assists, 2 goals, exactly what he needed going into the new season. Ollie Watkins, 5 goals in 5 games. He is really
4
sharp.
headers as well, 3 headers.
Yeah, there's at least a couple. Might be 3. Yeah. But if you go back a year ago, Watkins didn't have a pre-season. Obviously, he had the moment of the Euros when he scored against the Netherlands, but after that, wasn't 100% for a few weeks the first part of the season. That's completely different. So Watkins is on fire. Marlon's played really well. Rogers looked sharp. Obviously had a bit of a knock, but before that was doing well. Bizot as well, the new keeper. I'm not going to go over every player, but impressed by him. I think he's an upgrade on Robin Olsen. Amadou Onana as well, I think looked... some of the things I was watching, especially in the USA, looked unplayable at times. And again, only in pre-season, but his physicality you could really see, just as a few players maybe weren't as fit as him maybe, and the opposition, but Onana really stood out for me at different points as well. So quite a number of players stood out. And again, that's why I think we're in a really good position. Emi Buendia too, obviously. I think that's probably the one that you'd want to talk about specifically.
Yeah, I almost want to bring you in, Matt, here as somebody who's not been up to speed with pre-season, which I know sounds mental, but go with me for a sec. Buendia's looked sharp, scored a couple of goals, looks kind of much fitter than he has for a long time. However, we still go into the new season with the context that he hasn't had a great spell at Villa. He's had his injury problems and ultimately has spent time away on loan. And I think if an offer came in of a decent value, Villa would want to accept that.
And Leverkusen had the option to do
exactly, but didn't. So what do you see Buendia's future being like with that context that, he looks sharp in pre-season, but does that mean he's ready for a Premier League squad this weekend? Or is that kind of putting himself in the shop window, do you think?
I suppose the absence of new signings, though, when you can get cliched, he looks like a new signing performances, then listen, he's played in the Premier League before. He's never really, I don't think he's ever really torn the Premier League up, but he's never really let Aston Villa down.
He always looks good in pre-season, doesn't he, Buendia? I don't know whether that translates to anything.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, I think he's ready. He's ready for the bench. These 7 places on the bench, so potentially he could compete for one of those. I mean, this is probably me slamming the guy, but if we start him regularly with Emi Buendia, I think Aston Villa have probably gone backwards, or he's undergone some kind of miraculous transformation. So I don't think he's necessarily the future, but I think if he's keen and he's eager and he's fit and he's in good form, then yeah, get him involved and see what he can do.
That's my worry, really. I look across the team and I think, where can we, and this is going to sound quite cynical, but where can we make money? Right, because we need to do that in this financial year and take stress off wages and maybe improve other parts of the team, or the depth in where Buendia's position isn't a whole.
Yeah, there isn't much there.
No. So that's why half of me thinks, well, keeping Buendia makes sense, because in the Europa League phase, he can probably start those games and it takes the weight off Rodgers and other players and would be okay. But then the other part of me thinks, well, would you keep Buendia and sacrifice another player? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But again, that depends on how much Villa have to make. Could you do that by selling Bailey or whatever it may be? But yeah, we need to see Buendia against real opposition. And for example, last season, he had a pre-season, but came off the back of a year being out because of his ACL, but hardly kicked a ball in the first half of the last campaign. He scored against Wickham, didn't he? And that was about it. And then went on loan to Leverkusen, as you say. So, yeah, would I keep him around? I'd keep him around for at least the first couple of games of the season. It's totally up to Emery, though, what he wants to do. I'm happy for him to, sell him, keep him, loan him, whatever Villa feel is right for Buendia. But the positive is that we're not looking at a player here who's just shot of confidence and that we can't get rid of. It's the opposite. So it's a positive situation.
I'd also got to kind of wrap up the winners of pre-season. I've got Tara Mings for Greenwood. Did you see that?
Can we use that word?
Oh, I'll bleeped it for the episode. That was a nice little touch, wasn't it?
Well, it's interesting
More
because
than a touch, actually.
I actually thought Villa handled themselves quite well in that game, and I think it just got to a point where Mings just thought, "No, I'm not having that." I think Onana was tripped one by Greenwood, and then they had a bit of a squabble, and then Mings just thought that.
Yeah. Sick of this.
But I did laugh a little bit about it was like, oh, when Greenwood saw Mings, like he,
himself.
Yeah. But I also thought, well, I think Onana could probably hold his own too.
They're both of them together.
Yeah, having sat in a press conference with Onana, goodness, is he 6'5"? I think.
I don't know.
He's absolutely huge, as is Mings. But between them, I think that'd be just fine.
Yeah. We're going to talk transfer business next. Now, to bring you right into the loop of the podcast loop, me and John discussed at great detail whether we could prank you here.
Okay.
But we've bottled it in the end because we couldn't think of anything funny enough. So Villa signed Ozcan in January, but signed in the summer.
Get off! That's not a real name.
Now out on loan. Zepekino Redmond. The same. Marco Bizot is here as well to replace Robin Olsen, and Evon Guesson signed from Nice just in the week just gone, which you'll have seen because you're back now. And Enzo Barrenechea has gone out on loan, as has Costa Nedeljkovic. And obviously the talking point here is that we haven't lost anyone that we've not wanted to lose. Martinez is still here, which we didn't really think was going to happen at one point, and others as well. But we did think, can we slip in a player here that we'll go, what did you think of Redmond and so and so and so and so, and you kind of go, yeah,
brilliant. He's going to change the face of football.
Yeah, we couldn't think of anything funny enough. We did get a couple that are too obvious,
like Cat Mendrick.
No, they are football terms. So we've got Paul Damstring,
excellent, yeah,
on the bench, Surge forward. You go up top. It's my favourite. Connor Flagg, and one of my favourites actually, Miles Off It. I thought, if I slip one of those in, will he go, Miles Off It? He looked good in the Bundesliga. Make something up. Would you have fallen for any of those?
They're very good actually. Those
are all right, aren't they? I just think you'd have clocked them though.
I think we've got to make into a sitcom there, mate. We can work that up a little bit.
A serious point, though, the transfer business, obviously Villa haven't done loads, but in some ways, as John said, that's the continuation of a good squad that we already have. It's a bit of a cliche, but that is a good window to keep what you've got. Is that how you see it as well?
I think so. I think...
it could have been Rodgers to Chelsea or Watkins to Arsenal or whatever.
I don't want to jinx it because we've still got just short of 3 weeks left of the window, so business could still happen. But I suppose the biggest concern would be we have lost 3 players in the 3 loanees, And, if we're talking about Buendia being...
Buendia for Asensio and Gesson for Rashford, you'd probably say at the moment, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and we obviously can make a judgment on Buendia, making up my own nose there. On Buendia, given what we've seen before, is it Gesson?
Gesson.
That sounds very, very, very French, don't it? Gesson. We don't know, do we? I know we've seen bits of him, but I thought there was a reason we signed Rashford and Asensio, because we thought that they'd make the difference and make us more exciting and more dangerous in areas of the pitch where we needed it. We now don't have those, so it's up to the forward players that we do have to step up and deliver. I think we can probably absorb the loss of Disasi, can't we? As long as our centre halves that we've got at the club are able to stay fit. I'm an old school football fan where, as much as all football fans get excited about new signings, the fact that we've actually got a good squad, a strong squad, with a body of work under the belts that they can perform consistently, and a coach that we trust. Yes, we'd all like something shiny under the Christmas tree, and a few more kind of big names, but if Aston Villa can, win both battles in terms of maintaining a competitive squad and fall in the right side of these really restrictive kind of financial rules, then if we have to forego something shiny under the Christmas tree, but we still have a consistent team that can win every week, then that's good enough for me.
Let's discuss the early run-in then, and for me that's the first 6 games, which is sandwiched by...
Can you call it a run-in if it's early? Is the run-in not like the home straight?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Like the first lap?
Ooh, yeah, the opening... That's a good point, actually, because I've gone running on my little document here, but it isn't right, is it? The run is the end, isn't it?
It's got to be the run out if it's the opposite.
Yeah, but that sounds horrible, doesn't it? That's very American. I don't know. The first 6 fixtures, anyway. International break in between them. So you've got Newcastle at home, Brentford away, Palace at home, break, Everton away at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Are you aware of this?
I saw this. Yes.
Okay, good.
Really boring story how I found out, but yeah.
Forget it. Sunderland away and then Fulham at home, which I think is a really good start. Newcastle at home rather than away is always good. Newcastle that have been depleted by transfers is even better. I think there's some really winnable fixtures there. That, we've got Brentford and Sunderland around or in our bottom 3s, I would say. Everton away, we're not quite sure yet, and then 2 home games, Fulham and Palace. I think that's a really strong start. If I have to push you for kind of a points target that's acceptable, 18 points available, what looks good, do you think?
First 6 games, win 4.
Yeah,
I always say
that's
that.
about right.
Always try and win your first 4.
12 points out of 16 is about
and then
right, isn't
you're
it?
the games, whether you draw or win them. Yeah, but win 4. So your home matches against Newcastle, Fulham, Palace. Oh, jeez. And then who else?
That's the 3 at home.
And then Sunderland away,
Brentford away, Everton away. You've got to win at least one of them as well.
You could. I'm not going to say you need to win all 3 because you don't, but you could win all 3.
Is there a world there, Matt, where Villa win all 6?
I hope not, Because I just think it just create unreal. We'll be top of the league at the end of September, and it'll
what a terrible thing.
Yeah, and then it'll all fall away, and then we'll just stay up on the last day of the season because it'll all go massively tits up. Let's just win the 4 and let's just build from there. Let's just fight for the front when we're in the running rather than the run out. Just we've got to manage expectation.
Yeah, fair enough. A different answer. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. Apparently we have, or statistically anyway, which doesn't really make sense because this hasn't started, but opt to say that's the easiest start to the season.
I think 12 points out of 16. 16? 18? 18? Yeah. 12 points out of 18 doesn't sound that good, does it?
No, I just meant you win 4 games and
win 4 and see what happens. Yeah. Okay. John, do you want to talk about where the season could be won and lost? The difficult periods, maybe
on the pitch,
the tricky patches.
Yeah, well, when we were looking through the league table, we have a pretty a testing run of away games, literally from Boxing Day to the end of the season. And they're only testing because we usually struggle against a lot of these teams.
We spoke about this before, didn't we, in the season? Game
I'm only bringing it up again because you asked the same
questions.
You asked the same questions, you get the same answers.
No one watched that one first.
Can I just clip that and just put this in? We'll all get on with that.
The thing is, though, I think what I said back then was, can you have a testing run of fixtures away from home when it's like half the league?
Well, this is it. But I think when you look at it, it sounds, to me anyway, it sounds daunting.
Yeah.
So you can tell me off after, but we have, Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Wolves, Man United, Forest, Fulham, Burnley, Man City. They're all the last away games, half the season, which I know I've just read out like half the teams in the division. However,
we're not good away is the point.
Yeah, if you go Sunderland away, Brentford away, Everton away as the first three, all of us say, well, we can win all three of those. But if you say Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace, Newcastle, Wolves, Man United, when have we won? I know we have a decent record of Chelsea and Arsenal, but they're obviously good teams. And then in that, you've got a lot of sides there who we traditionally struggle at. I know Bournemouth and Fulham, we've had some decent results against as well, but they're going to be teams that have aspirations of maybe pushing towards Europe. So I think the back end of the season, or the second half even, away from home, we really have to show something there. Because if we don't win at Chelsea or Arsenal or some of the sides that I mentioned there at the start, all of a sudden you're going to have to go to Bournemouth, Fulham, even maybe City on the last day and get something. So put it this way, you can look at that and think, well, we're going to have to turn around. We're going to have to win at Molineux next season. We're going to have to win at St James. We're going to have to win at Old Trafford, because if you don't, the home form essentially has to be perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, you definitely have to be good at home again, which I think we will be. Matt, are you of the opinion like me that all that's a bit of nonsense because you have to play everyone twice and you'll pick up wins where you need to?
I think the thing is with Villa, I can't even remember last season. How consistent were we? Did we have like a strong start?
We had a bad middle.
Fairly meh middle, and then
we had a strong end, didn't we?
Really strong end. So you sort your middle out.
If you did exactly that again and you won.
That's exactly what John McGinn said. He said we had a bad middle.
Tell you, he wants to see my middle.
He's back, everybody. He's back.
But it is true.
I think if you do exactly the same again, I mean, obviously the league table's not going to be exactly the same, but if you won one more game in that bad middle, we'd have finished in the Champions League.
Well, yeah, if we scored more goals, we would have finished there. Yeah.
So you can get away with a bad patch if you're really strong at some point as well.
But you don't want to rely on. But we always did say, I said, I don't know. We agreed, but it was like March, and we always said, even at the start of the season, like now, as long as in March you are within a few points away from where you want to finish, I back Emery to get because when we went to Bournemouth, we I don't know. I felt like we were going to win that game. It was something that we should get over the line. Man United was Man United in the end, but
it was a remarkable finish to the season.
I
know it all went wrong on the last game.
Yeah,
but that run that it went on was magnificent, to be honest.
Yeah. And even there was like the City losing against City in the 95th minute. That was horrible in the end. But if we had avoided that, would have been
that run would have been worth something. It still was
incredible run of form. Yeah, it was. Ironically, after you lose to Palace 4-1, and it all felt like, are we going to even finish in Europe? Are we going to finish the top half? But then it's after those results usually where we get our act together, and Emery kind of just scraps it all and then really focuses on something, and we go unbeaten for 10 games or something.
The final kind of point I want to end part one with is one we always do, and we've done every year, so you should know what's coming. What is success this season? But we can't, I don't think, not couple that with talking about trophies. So I think for most people that will be together now. What is success is winning something. Is it as simple as that, do you think?
Yeah, because we've achieved, I know we didn't achieve it last season, but we achieved it the season before. We've achieved that aim of getting into the top 4, top 5, or Champions League anyway. That's not to say that ambition's done. We never need to revisit that again. It's quite nice to revisit that every year, but we've said before, haven't we, the tangible sign of success now is silverware, and we've seen Newcastle, Palace, Chelsea and Spurs all win trophies that Villa are capable of winning last season. So, I don't know whether it is a mentality thing. We've said before about us sometimes not quite having it in the cup finals or equivalents of in the league to get over the line. These players have got a few more miles on the clock now and a few more battle scars, so that's got to be the thing. I don't mind, I've said before, I don't mind what trophy it is.
Or what the league drop-off is either.
I don't want us to get relegated.
Yeah.
But I'd take... I'm not sure I'd take 17th for the League Cup, but I'd take I'd take 15th for the FA Cup.
Not really much difference between 15th and 17th, to be honest. John, do you want to tell Matt, because I can't imagine he'll have watched many podcasts while he's been away, or maybe you have.
Just not this one.
Obviously.
There's one I've started watching called What I Did Yesterday.
Right, okay.
With Max Rushton. And
from Soccer AM.
Yeah. And David O'Donnell, is it? The Irish comedian?
Yes, yeah. Is that any good?
It is really good, yeah. It's much better than this crap.
Do you want to tell Matt your Europa League or bust kind of theory and see what he thinks?
I pick bust.
So my theory is quite black and white with the Europa League, that if we don't win the Europa League, I deem it as failure. And I think that sounds quite strong, and I think a lot of people can kind of look at that and think like, oh, geez, calm down. We have we haven't won anything for so long. But I just think, I look at the other teams in the Europa League for a start, and I think, well, we have the best manager, we have the best squad, we have the best set of players, the highest wage bill, all those different things. So we have to automatically be one of the favourites to win the trophy. And I don't think anybody, not the players nor the fans, don't view us as capable of winning the Europa League. If our goal is to win the Europa League and we don't win the Europa League, we've failed to reach the target. So for me, I deem not winning the Europa League as failure.
Europa League still gives you Champions League qualification this season, doesn't it? So to me, who doesn't have to get on the pitch and play those games, winning the Europa League would seem an easier route to getting a trophy and qualified for the Champions League than finishing fourth. We want to qualify for the Champions League and we want to win a trophy. Those are our dual ambitions.
Mm-hmm. If one competition does both of those things.
Yeah. And we can absolutely win that competition, and I just feel like some supporters maybe look at it through a lens of like, oh, but it will still be really difficult. And I'm not saying that it won't be, but if we get knocked out in the quarterfinals or semi-finals and feel like we did after PSG, I don't believe that will be true. After PSG, you felt pride of we've taken them so far with Champions League after X amount of years. Europa League to me is completely different. We have all of the experiences now of playing in Europe. Now is the time to win. If you don't win that competition, the only feeling for me there would be one of disappointment that we haven't won it, rather than anything else. And for me, it would be failure to not win the Europa League. And it's not demeaning the competition. I'm saying that we're that good that we can win it. It's the last day of the Champions League, finished fourth last season, nearly finish in the Champions League positions again last season, and have everything that we've got. We haven't lost any key players, and then tell me that, oh, it's okay to be knocked out to Roma though, or to Porto, and
you don't need to go prime Ange and potentially sacrifice your Premier League status. I think we can go all the way in the Europa League and still
be within a stab of the top 6 or 7.
Compete in the top half of the Premier League, shall I say?
What scares me to death though is that if we were to get to a Europa League final, and if everything was resting on that game,
that would pressure.
Like the pressure of Spurs and United, or I think specifically Spurs were playing with in that game, and they got through it, to be fair. But I think that's something that would really be a test of our mettle, and that game would be played like last season, wedged between the last two games of the season, before the season ends.
I think some of the comments we got to when John said that for the first time some were too literal, like, well, the season can't be a failure because if we win the FA Cup and the Premier League in the same season, it's not. Obviously,
I only meant Europa League.
In the Europa League thing, that alone is a failure. But some of the comments were things like, we haven't won anything for so long, we don't have a divine right to just go and do it, and it won't be easy. But you're not saying any of those things.
No, like absolutely not at all. But I feel like it's a kind of almost like a defence mechanism for some of us fans to think that, you don't want to kind of lay those ambitions down or just say it out loud.
You're going to get your fingers burnt.
Essentially, yeah.
If it doesn't happen.
But if you add it all together, why are we not one of the favourites? And if we're one of the favourites, why aren't we pretending that we can't win I just think now is the time to do it. We saw what happened against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. Speaking to the players as well over the summer, it is a situation of like, again, we have the experiences, we have to go one further now. I think it will be a real shame if some of those players like McGinn and Mings, Watkins or whoever were to leave the club without having that silverware, because we've had the Conference League, but I think we all got over it because firstly we had the Champions League in the back pocket, but also we were knackered and for whatever reason didn't quite work, but it's okay. First European campaign for a long time. Champions League, we were never going to win it, I don't think, but we really went far. Europa League is a completely different ball game for me.
Yeah, you're not really like that, are you? From the years that I've known you, to be like, yeah, we're going to go and win this thing. And I mean, you say the FA Cup every year, but you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he is that guy actually. But you don't have that kind of set. I don't think we as a region have that like defiant. We are the favourites and we are going to win this thing. So we're better than everyone else.
It's confidence, but it's not underestimating the opposition. It's more. I've said it
overestimating Villa almost.
Yeah, I've kind of said it before. Like Chelsea, for example, I swear to God, those fans and those players will be going into the Champions League aiming to win the competition.
Yeah.
But why? Because they win things, and it's a mentality of getting over the line. Like in the Club World Cup as well, completely different. But still, no one expected probably Chelsea to win the Club World Cup, but they did, because it's just in their DNA to go out and win. That's the expectation. For Villa, that hasn't been the expectation for so long. Now it has to be now. If it's not now, then when?
Yeah.
What's the point in qualifying for these competitions if we're not going to try and win them?
You happy with John's answer for the question I asked you?
I think it's the taking part that counts. And I think even in the semi-final at Wembley, I think our players should have had stickers for at least.
You turned up, just about.
Did they?
Yeah, exactly. Right, okay. I'm going to call a wrap on part 1 of the Big Fat Season Preview. Thank you very much for joining us, Matt and John. Stay where you are, because we're going to carry on and film the rest of it. But thank you for watching along or listening to this episode of the Claret Move podcast. Please do get involved in the comments section across Spotify or YouTube with your thoughts as well. And please do come back for part 2, where we'll discuss. I had a little voice crack then. Is that why you were laughing? Yeah, I thought so. Come back for part 2 of the Aston Villa predictions ahead of the new season.